Hello, everyone. This is Kathy coming to you from my office in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I am a life coach, so I have worked with a lot of people in the emotional spectrum. I am also a medical professional as well. So I love to be able to put the emotions, the body, the spirit, and the mind together, especially with the use of essential oils. So I hope that you learn a lot today as we go through this presentation. And I am just going to make myself small here, put myself up in the corner, and we're going to get going. So first off, I want to give a disclaimer. The information that I'm going to present today is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, for diagnosis, or for treatment. These suggested methods of interventions with using essential oils, they don't treat, they don't cure or heal. God has made our bodies and our minds to be so powerfully able to heal on our own and heal with the power of God. And so those are the things that we're going to discuss today. We are going to talk a little bit before we get started about the blood-brain barrier. Now, the blood-brain barrier is a God-given natural mechanism that protects our brain from large molecules coming in. And you can see this little guy on the bottom here. He is like that if that's the blood-brain barrier, he is stopping big molecules from going into the brain because that can be very detrimental. So these essential oils can cross that blood-brain barrier and they can affect positive mood and mental health. So just be sure that when you're using your essential oils, simply doing aromatherapy, you are using these highly charged, very small molecules that are lipid in nature, because those are the only molecules that can cross through the blood-brain barrier and be able to cause very nice neurological responses in our mood and in our brain health. Your nose is amazing. It is wired differently than any of your other senses. When you smell something in and you use those olfactory senses of your nose, it actually is wired differently. It's wired through your limbic system. So let's say that this is a essential oil bottle, right? Instead of a rose, you are smelling in those aromatic substances, those molecules from that essential oil. They are going into the nasal cavity where these olfactory neurons actually allow them to be changed, and they cross the blood-brain barrier. Is about right here, okay? So that blood-brain barrier allows those molecules to hit this olfactory bulb, which then stimulates your limbic system in the brain to release neurochemicals. Okay, so neurochemicals are actually molecules of emotion. So when we have an emotion, whether it's a positive emotion or whether it's a negative emotion, we literally are creating physical matter in our body, in our brain, that is going to be released into the body that is going to bring us either life or literally death and disease into the body. So these molecules of emotions that can be stimulating, that can be relaxing, uplifting, they can help us focus, they can be calming. Now that depends on the nature of that chemical makeup of the essential oil that you are going to be aromatic or topically using to affect your mood. So these are some of the effects on the brain that we can have when we use essential oils internally, aromatically, or topically. They can influence mood and emotions. And like, who doesn't need that, right? Like, we all do. I have women ask me all the time, like, can I affect my grumpy kids by diffusing essential oils? Absolutely. You can choose essential oils in the morning while you're getting ready to affect your own mood and uplift you and invigorate you, calm you, console you, whatever the mood is that you need. And we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. You can fully affect that. So they also support healthy brain function. They protect your neurons, which are very, very important. Essential oils also help with that brain-gut connection. We actually have three brains. We have this one that we all know about. We have a second brain in our gut, and we actually have a third brain that's a lot smaller, but it's in our heart as well. So that's why we can feel those emotions literally in our body. Essential oils penetrate cell membranes, so they work on the inside of the cell as well as the outside. They protect us against the effects of stress, the stress chemicals on the brain. We're going to go into that big time here in a second. They support neurotransmitter communications, and sesquiterpenes are able to pass that blood-brain barrier and affect positive blood flow and to provide good brain health and good emotional health as well. A lot of those sesquiterpenes are found in the flower or the woods oils. The best methods of application for brain and for emotional health are seen right here. So right here, the olfactory pathways. So literally that is just opening a bottle, smelling in an essential oil, putting it on your hand, using it in a diffuser and smelling it in and having that limbic system come to life. Also using essential oils internally is very good for getting into the blood system, either underneath your tongue or literally swallowing a capsule that's created by doTERRA or making your own if you'd like to. The pulse points are another great place to use essential oils. Either on the wrists are a good place. The pulse points on the neck and over the top of the heart are very, very good for essential oil application. And also the occipital point, which is where the top of your spine is up here and down kind of on the soft spots on either side of your spine, and just put that essential oil there and just kind of rub that in, and immediately that's going to get into that spinal area and up into the brain. And then after you put that on, yeah, do that as well. Now the bottom of the large toes is the area from a reflexology perspective that is directly connected to the brain. So also for emotional health, for kiddos, however that looks for you, rubbing an essential oil onto the bottom of the large toe is also a great place for application for emotional health. I am going to go not as deep as I could. This is like a day that I could take on this one slide. I'm going to talk about this very, very briefly. If anybody wants to talk about this in more depth, we certainly can. But you might come back to this and read this slide a little bit more later to get more in-depth knowledge about what's going on in your brain. So the effects of stress and toxic thoughts and emotions are huge on the body. And I don't think very many people know about this. So this is called stress and the HPA axis. And HPA stands for the hypothalamus, your pituitary gland, and then your adrenal glands. So when a negative thought comes in or when a stress comes in, your hypothalamus is affected, okay? It's also affected when we have a good thought as well. But it causes a cascade of these hormones that can either bring death or life to the body. So let's talk about what happens in stress. And by the way, stress is good. It's a God-given mechanism for our bodies to be able to react quickly when we need them to. When we're running away from a tiger, right? We need our muscles to come into play. We need our heart to beat faster. We need our respirations to go higher. We need our eyesight needs to be stronger. We need to be able to move when we're trying to get out of the way of a moving bus that's coming towards us, or grab a kid out of harm's way. These are all stressors that happen in the body, and this mechanism is meant to happen for very, very short periods of time. But here's what happens. You wake up in the morning and the kids are already late for school, and then you've got to get them some food. So then breakfast, is interrupted by homework that a child didn't do, and then you get them to school and they're late, and then you get to work and you're late, so your boss is grumpy at you, and then you forgot your lunch, so then you're hungry all day and you're grumpy as well, and then you got to go pick kids up from school, and then it's soccer practice and basketball practice, and then you get home and dinner's like at 7:30 and you're trying to get the homework done that the kids didn't do the night before, and then it's 11:30 at night and those kids finally got to bed and you're trying to get to bed and your brain won't shut up. And then you get to get up at 6:30 the next morning and do it again. This is stress. And this is happening at a rapid rate in our world. And this affects our emotions. It affects our sleep. It affects so much. So what happens is those stressors are coming into this hypothalamus. It is creating a hormone called CRH, which drips down to your pituitary gland, which is located right underneath the hypothalamus here. And then this pituitary gland drips down another hormone called ACTH all the way down to your adrenal glands, which are located on the top of the kidneys. Now, we have all heard of adrenal fatigue. We've heard of chronic fatigue syndrome. This is what happens when this cascade of hormones is turned on all the time, and it never stops. And our body becomes fatigued because this never turns off like it's supposed to. So this is what happens. These are the effects of our toxic thinking and our toxic negative emotions in the body. So many of these conditions that we then try to address later that happen because of our toxic thoughts and our emotions, and not allowing our body to not be stressed and to calm down and to really get into prayer and a realization that the world doesn't rest on our shoulders. A lot of these conditions, we just try to put band-aids on them later. And in reality, so much of them are a result of stress. So if you think negative, toxic thoughts, you will release toxic chemicals into your body. However, if you think positive, life-giving thoughts, you will release positive, life-giving chemicals into your body. This slide is huge, and I think that very few of us know that this is actually a reality for us. So, let me move back up here again. The biggest thing that we can do is feed our body from a nutritional perspective. I am not going to go into this very deep at all because I'm going to be doing another session on supplements later on. But the lifelong vitality is the best thing that you can do for yourself from an emotional perspective. We don't think about that. You know, we think about needing sleep. We think about the essential oils that are going to calm us down. But literally from a cellular level, if our cells are stressed, we're going to be stressed. So these three products, Alpha CRS, your E omegas, which have 9 different essential oils in it, and your vitamins and your minerals, which is your VMZ, is going to be your best friend to help deal with your emotions and create wellness in the body. My next slide here. Then, of course, we have the emotional aromatherapy kit that doTERRA has put together. And you can just imagine what these blends do. Motivate, helps to uplift and invigorate and help you get stuff done. I call it the get her done oil. I love that one. It smells like, I don't know, peppermint chocolate or something like that to me. It's really a yummy one. Cheer, when you're in those down feelings and you just really need to be lifted up. Cheer is a great one to use in the diffuser, or again, to use on those pulse points and behind the neck. Passion, just what you think, yes, relationally, but also passion is just bringing passion to life, bringing out that beauty in who we are, and help us to really be able to do those things that we're passionate about. Excuse me. Then we have forgive. Sometimes things happen, people hurt us. There's circumstances in our life that are just hard to get over. Now, this oil does not forgive, but it puts us in a state of mind where we can hear more from God about what it means to forgive, and I love that. Console, for those times of loss, for those times of worry, for those times when we're just feeling really a lot of grief, and then peace. So when we feel like our wheels are just flying off, and this is very, very good for the kiddos as well, to use on the bottom of the feet or on the back of the neck. Now, with these emotions oils, the 5 ml bottles are very, very good for using in the diffuser. You can also dilute those up as well and use them topically. Then there's also these that are already the touch emotions oils that are already diluted with fractionated coconut oil to use topically. This is a great, great kit. Now, I would be really remiss if I did not talk to you about the emotions wheel. So all of those emotions oils that I just talked about are made up of 2 different categories of oils. So the florals, the mints, citruses, spices, herbs and grasses, and trees are your 6 categories of oils. Motivate is made up of the mints and citruses, right? So let's talk about, let's say if you're anxious, okay? You're just, fearful about the future. A good oil to use is going to be peace, because you can see here that anxiousness comes between the florals and this mint. Another one to use might be motivate, because it also falls within this category here. So I will put a link in the comments where you can download this emotions wheel so that you have it. A lot of times we can't even identify our emotions or how we feel. So just seeing these words sometimes and then seeing what oil is going to be best for us to use is a really, really nice option. So these are just some single oils, and again, a couple more blends that are going to help to uplift the mood. And of course, look over here, you've got your omega-3 fatty acids, and of course the Lifelong Vitality Pack for your kiddos, the kids' vitamins, and also the probiotics for adults, or the PB Assist Junior for the kids. Next one, essential oils to calm worry or anxiousness or your fear. And look over here, Lifelong Vitality. Then you've got your wonderful blends. Copaiba is not a blend, but this is an amazing, amazing oil to help with so many different things, including emotions in the body. Then you've got your essential oils to fight stress. Okay, we were just talking about that negative hormone cascade that happens. So to help you calm down and to fight that stress, lavender, frankincense, lemon, ylang-ylang, rose, the citrus oils, clary sage, spikenard, petitgrain, rosemary, bergamot, marjoram. Oh, and look over here, Lifelong Vitality Pack and your probiotics as well, along with these wonderful blends that doTERRA has for the emotions oils. Also, there's ways to decrease stress that really don't have anything to do with essential oils. Helping with focus and attention. I love this Calm the Squirrel blend. So when we get all stressed out and anxious, sometimes we just can't focus very well. So using these oils here, okay, either topically or using them in a diffuser. Here's the Calm the Squirrel blend. Assisting the gut is also going to help with that second brain. And then we've, of course, got these lovely oils, including Intune, which is specific. It's called the Focus Blend. Sleep, rest is important. Our body heals during rest. Our mind and our emotions heal during rest. So we need to be able to have a really solid 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. I know some of you are rolling your eyes right now, but it's very, very true. It is important to do that. So Serenity oil is, it might be one of my favorites. It is one of my favorites. I love it. I use it every day. I also use the Serenity Restful Complex to sleep at night. This complex actually helps to increase the body's own melatonin so that the mind is more at rest and you can get to sleep more easily. And of course, what would we be? You know, when we're not feeling good, we don't usually have very good emotions. We're either cranky or we're kind of depressed or we're anxious. So helping with these proper inflammatory responses and helping with immune support in the body is huge. So Deep Blue products, Deep Blue Rub, I use that at least twice a day. I use Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex to help with that stress and that tension that we just get so that I can be more invigorated to move and to get that oxygen flowing in my body to make me feel better and uplift my spirit. Also, when we're not feeling well and we are in a time of, you know, this time of year when everybody seems to be getting hit with the crud, you do not want On Guard to be out of your sight during this season, guaranteed. You are going to want to use your On Guard products. So helping to increase that wellness in the body and that proper inflammatory response also helps our mood and our emotions. Now, your emotions, this is pretty incredible to think about. Your emotions literally become physical matter in your body, whether you want them to or not. And this physical matter, these molecules of emotions that are created because of either your anger or your peace, your joy or your frustration, will either stimulate wellness and bring life to the body, or they will be toxic and they will invite illness and damage to your organs. Romans 8:6 says this. This is very biblical as well. So letting your sinful nature or listening to lies over truth control your mind leads to death. But letting the Spirit control your mind, listening to the truth over lies, leads to life and to peace. And this is the mind, body, spirit, and emotional connection. We have to feed all four of these aspects of our body to have true health and wellness. Essential oils work in the body, the mind, and the spirit to calm and create an environment for positive, clear thinking. This environment allows us to hear the truth and to truly step into the person that God is creating us to be. Essential oils are fantastic in helping us to have a proper emotional response. I want to thank you all for just spending these few minutes. I could honestly talk about this for hours and hours and hours, but I just gave you a little snippet now. You go out and you learn how to use these essential oils for your emotions and for the emotions in your family as well. And I wish you wellness and health as you continue to learn these amazing gifts from God. Talk to you guys later. Bye.